All right, Shalom. First and foremost, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders and apostles, better known as the Great Millstone. Honors, blessings, and salutations to the fellow laborers who push the correct doctrine, also known as the Great Millstone. It's the huge predominant portion, okay, of the men that are pushing this sincere word correctly. And of course, death to 2/3. So I'm going to entitle this, this is a response basically to the big picture, which is, as you can see, this was back in 2003, okay, of September. Now, I do want to read this. It's not a lot. To some people, this might be a lot, but this isn't a lot. But you can Google this for yourself. You can find this for yourself. I will just hit the highlights though, for the sake of time. So like I said, I'm just gonna highlight some few things and get into some scriptures. So the first paragraph is kind of important. It says, a few years ago, I was hosting a panel discussion about online marketplaces at an industry standard conference. One of the panelists, an electronic commerce expert, said that we would never get to a world in which every company identified a particular part in the same way. I disagreed with him. Today, I disagree with him more than ever. So already we can take away that this is going towards unification, okay? And I mean, the highlight here too is an electronic commerce expert. Okay, so let's see what he's also saying more. It says, let's take a step back and look at the big picture. And this is something that you got to realize. There's something bigger going on, okay? People can decry globalization all they want, but to facilitate business, we have been evolving since the beginning of humanity toward a world with a common currency and a common language. We no longer trade with animal teeth, bones, and shells, or even francs, liras, and Deutschmarks. And the euro may not be the end of this process. Similarly, one reason people from Austria to Zambia speak English is because we need a common way to communicate, to do business. Man, I said I wasn't going to read this, but I'm ending up doing that. Salaki. So, again, this next paragraph, the electronic product code, okay, EPC. Okay, many people also said Europe would never have a common currency. I'm sure they can't begin to imagine that one day we may have a single global currency. Maybe things are starting to come together a bit more now, if you don't already see where this is going. And this is a problem as of now, why it's not being taken place, because of what's expressed in this paragraph here, where companies can't just throw out all the software and IT systems they have built to track items using the Universal Product Code, UPC, Global Trade Identification Number, Industrial Standard Book Number, or other numbering schemes. To succeed, the EPC, Electronic Product Code, has to be a bridge between these existing schemes and some future scheme that covers the universe of items. Now, what is that? That's RFID. Okay, it's going to be a connector, a bridge for these things. Now, again, remember, this was back in 2003. Okay, and this was the big picture from 2003, and here we are present day in 2019. Okay, the EPC is seen as something driven mainly by the consumer packaged goods and retail industries. I mean, come on, man. If you don't get it and understand, then you clearly can't see the bigger picture. And that's okay, because not everyone is meant to see the bigger picture. Now, just to get to the last paragraph, it says CEOs now have to deal with two conflicting impulses. While they don't want to replace a lot of hardware and software to be able to track items with EPC tags, they recognize the value of having a single global numbering system. I believe Auto ID Incorporated and the RFID industry will find ways to make it possible for them to enjoy the latter without having to endure the former. When that happens, the world will be a giant step closer to a single way to identify items globally. That will remove a hindrance to global trade that is almost as significant as language and currency. So, with that being, with these things being read and said, um, I want to look at this word in the Greek is G59. Agoroza, I think is how I pronounced it. Agoroadzo, something to that effect. Well, let's listen.
Strong's G59. Agarazzo. Agarazzo.
Agarazzo. Okay. And it's used in the following manner: 28 times as buy and only three times as redeem. And the 3 times it's used as redeem is in reference to Israel. And I'll prove that real quick. Let's click on redeem. And as you can see, this is referring to the elect. Okay, they sung a new song saying, "Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof, for thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to the heavenly Father by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation." And they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the 4 beasts and the elders, and no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto the Most High and to the Lamb. So as you can see, Revelations 5 and 9, 14 and 3, and 14 and 4 are the only 3 times where this is used in the manner for redeem. So let's go back. Because the focus here is this word buy. And maybe you'll recognize where I'm pulling this word from. Okay. And it's coming from Revelation. So like 13 and 17. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So that mark is that charagma. And that word buy, as we heard, agarazzo, okay, for the usage, to be in the marketplace, to attend it, to do business there, buy or sell, of idle people, to hunt the marketplace, lounge there. So it literally is to buy, okay, is how it's being used in Revelation. In this verse in particular, to buy and sell. Okay, and even when you click on Matthew's 21 and 12 here, it says, "And Yahushua went into the temple of the Most High, and cast out all them that sold and bought in the temple, and overthrew the tables of the money changers, and the seats of them that sold doves." So it's very evident that this is about physical buying and selling. So this mark is going to make it to where you cannot buy or sell unless you have this mark, okay? Which, if you take this mark as an Israelite, a Negro, Latino, North American Indian, you're going to be put to death, okay? Most High is going to make sure you are destroyed, okay? And this is why we see in 2b, it says figuratively, okay? Because we are bought with the price, meaning the elect, okay? But for what's being presented to you here, this is a proof that the bigger picture is to make it to where you cannot buy or sell or exchange in goods without this RFID technology. Okay, it is the bridge that's going to close the gap, okay, between all these markets for retail and industrial purposes, okay, which include your banking. Now this is the word sell, and you can see 21 times specifically as to sell, to barter, as in sellers, okay? So that's pretty much the point. I mean, it is the bigger picture. You should be able to see and understand this, but there are going to be those that don't understand. Okay, when that happens, the world will be a giant step closer to a single way to identify items globally that will remove a hindrance to global trade that is almost as significant as language and currency. And what that is Auto ID Incorporated and the RFID industry will find ways to make it possible for them to enjoy the latter without having to endure the former. So, with that, I hope you can see the bigger picture. I know the elect see it, and death to 2/3. Shalom.